I'm Larissa, and I want to share my story, how I learned to write measurable learning outcomes. If you're an instructor, I hope this presentation will help you master writing good measurable learning outcomes. This approach helped me. Are you ready to listen? Let's go.
It is best to write measurable learning outcomes, and it is best to write them using a three-part approach: condition, performance, and criteria. Clear and measurable learning outcomes allow instructors to accurately describe desired students' performance during and after instruction. Why learning outcomes should be measurable? How do you know they are measurable or not? Learning outcomes should be measurable, meaning you as an instructor should be able to observe your students' performance. If you don't observe successful completion of the learning outcome, it means your students did not understand your instructional materials or your evaluation criteria were too high for them. If you observe that your students outperform learning outcomes, it means your evaluation criteria were too low or your students already know the materials you presented. Let's take a look at learning outcomes. Learning outcomes consist of three parts: condition, performance, and criteria. Condition: how and when will learning occur? For example, after watching an instructional video about high-tech tools, upon completion of lab practice, while independently exploring extra resources. Performance: how will you observe learning? What will your students show you what they have learned? For example, explore salient features of high-tech tools. Identify the core vocabulary and number of symbols. Select appropriate tool for the case given. Criteria: what is the level of success? For example, as measured by addressing 5 main parts of narration with 80% accuracy. Let's talk about verbs which you can use while writing measurable students' performance. What verbs can help you? Here is a few examples: recognize, interpret, classify, compare, explain, implement, differentiate, organize, critique, and produce. When writing measurable outcomes, try to avoid the verbs understand, learn, know, be aware of, think about, realize, enjoy, because they are not measurable. Go to this website to find more examples on the verb. Just click on the link. Three parts are not strictly required in the order I have presented. You can change the order depending on your preferences. Let's take a look at the examples. After condition, students will performance with criteria. You can change students will performance upon condition with criteria. Sometimes it is not necessary to include criteria into learning outcome, but you should keep it in mind while writing it, because criteria help you assess learning.
This is the end of my story, and I hope you found it very helpful. When you write your learning outcomes, please always remember these three very important words: condition, performance, and criteria.